everyone. My name is Dr. Murray. I am the very proud superintendent of schools for the Reading School District. So good morning, Red Knights. I would like to personally welcome all of you, friends and family of the Reading School District, to this monumentous occasion. Thank you, Reading School District School Board and elected officials who join us today, who work tirelessly to improve our education system for our students. I want to recognize our new teachers of Reading School District, 148 of them. Who are here today to finish up their induction course. And I also want to welcome our new Millmont Elementary School kindergartners who graduated from kindergarten boot camp today. They participated in a, They are coming. It just takes a while to line up new kindergartners. Come on in. So they participated in a week-long boot camp to get ready for kindergarten, and they certainly look ready to me with this line they're bringing in. Nice job, guys. I want to also express my sincere gratitude to Governor Shapiro and his team, which includes our own Dr. Mameen, now Secretary of Education Mameen, for their presence and continued support of our Reading School District. Today is an exciting day, not only for Reading School District, but for children across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Today we celebrate the accomplishment and applaud Governor Shapiro and his team, who, with other elected officials, have passed a budget that has the largest increase for education in Pennsylvania history. Is far-reaching and includes such things as increases in the basic education funding formula, historic increases, an increase in special education funding, a focus on career technical education, and universal free breakfast for children. Breakfast program is significant and will guarantee all students, approximately 70,000 across Berks County alone, and the countless others across the Commonwealth, have access to a healthy, nutritious breakfast. We all know that a nutritious start to the day is key and allows students to focus on their learning. I commend Governor Shapiro and his team and want to emphasize that this is a very impactful decision that will positively affect the learning environment of students and the educational success of all students in the state of Pennsylvania. I so look forward to the next 4 years and beyond that, and know that this administration will have an impactful changes to the education system as a whole. This administration is committed to serve this generation of students who will one day go on to become the leaders of the city of Reading and the leaders in this great state of Pennsylvania. Thank you. So next, I would like to introduce Marcia Ganter. She is one of our 45 fabulous social workers in the Reading School District. She knows firsthand the challenges of our students face and how free breakfast impacts our students. Marcia.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, and thank you all for coming. I am very excited to be here today to hear about the historic investments that have been passed and made in our K-12 public schools, and to talk about how important it is for us to have universal breakfast for students so they can start their day with the energy needed to grow and learn to their potential. I've been working with children and families since the late 90s, and Helping families access affordable, nutritious food is an ongoing area of work, particularly for social workers. Chronic hunger is harmful to anyone who experiences it, but it has long-lasting impacts on children. We know that children who experience food insecurity tend to have more behavior problems, anxiety, hyperactivity, difficulty in social situations, poor educational outcomes, and are at higher risk of developing chronic health problems. Children need nutritious food on a consistent basis to learn and grow to their potential. For many children, the most consistent opportunity for meals comes during the school day. National school lunch programs are in place to assist families who qualify for free meals, but many children live in homes where the family earns too much money to qualify for assistance, but not enough to provide adequate nutritious meals for their families. It can be difficult to identify those who need assistance because there is a real stigma that either prevents families and individuals from seeking help in the first place or makes them feel bad when they do. In my experience with families, they worry about being judged, they worry about being reported as maybe a family or a neglectful parent who can't meet the needs of their children. Families who have citizenship issues may be fearful of seeking help from community agencies out of worry that it could jeopardize their situation here in the United States. There's feelings of shame and embarrassment approaching someone, even a social worker in the school setting, to say, "We don't have food, can you help me?" Children in these situations may not eat while they're at school. They may bring nutritionally inadequate items from home. And there are also social considerations and a stigma. Imagine being a student at breakfast in your school and it's not universally free and you don't have breakfast because there's no money for your family to purchase it or to provide you with that breakfast. Here in the Reading School District, we are so fortunate and appreciative to have the ability to provide all of our students with universal free breakfast. This removes many of the barriers our families face surrounding food insecurity and food inadequacies. We have a large McKinney-Vento population in our district. Those are families without a fixed or stable residence. And I know firsthand from families and all those who are even not McKinney-Vento, knowing their child will be in school receiving breakfast and lunch gives them peace of mind, because that is one thing off of the plate that many of them often worry about. Children who participate in these universal school meals are more likely to eat fruits, vegetables, and have dairy. They're also less likely to have nutrient inadequacies. Studies have shown that students who participate in school breakfast and lunch programs have improved behavior, academic performance, and academic achievement. Universal school breakfast is a huge step in the right direction for all the students in Pennsylvania, and we thank you all for coming here, and of course to Governor Shapiro for your work advocating that this program continue. Thank you all.
So next I would like to introduce Representative Manny Guzman.
Red Knights? I was waiting to hear it. Hey everybody, it's such an honor and a privilege to be here to be with my friend Governor Shapiro and of course our long lost friend Dr. Khalid Mumin. Welcoming him back to Reading. Listen, this is such a momentous and awesome day because I was one of those kids, Governor Shapiro. I was one of those kids who came to school hungry, was in class hungry, and wondered where I was going to get my next meal. And it was because I came to the Reading School District that at least my parents could depend that I would at least get one meal a day. And it was lunch. But Governor Shapiro, if I can, I remember vividly sitting in Tyson Shane, not too far away from here, Tyson Shane Elementary School, in class hungry. As math was being taught to me, as English and science and all the prerequisites that I needed to learn. And what I remember the most Governor Shapiro, was being hungry. And like me, there were thousands of other kids who grew up on the south side of Reading and all across the city of Reading who grew up hungry. So, Governor Shapiro, this is personal for me because I've lived it. My family has lived it. There are people still in our community who live it. And so when we're talking about ending childhood hunger, this is a key part of that. But I want you all to know, and I think the governor can realize that there's still a lot more work that we can do to end childhood hunger here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We don't need any more generations of Manny Guzmans to go hungry in the Reading School District. And now, because of this General Assembly and this governor, that will never happen again. Because this General Assembly and this governor recognizes that in order for our kids to have the future to be able to compete in this global economy, they can't go to school and be in school hungry. And so, mi gente, I want all the parents and all the educators in this room to know that your delegation, me specifically, and your state legislators up here, we're fighting for you because we understand, and I understand through my lived experiences, what your students go through on an everyday basis. And I'm telling you that we're not done yet. Because we're going to make sure that your kids have all the resources that they need, not only to be full and to learn, but also to be able to become productive citizens of society and hopefully replace me as their next state representative. Maybe, right? Who knows? So, listen, y'all didn't come here to hear me talk. I came here to hear the governor. But I want you all to leave this room today knowing that this governor, this General Assembly, myself, Judy Schwang, Mark Rosgan, those gentlemen here behind me, we are working every day hard for the people of the city of Reading because we understand what you're going through, and we're not going to stop until Reading and the Reading School District is a world-class institution that is the envy all across the Commonwealth. Thank you very much.
No problem. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Red Knights.
Good morning.
And our newest Red Knights. You know, I have a t-shirt that I got when we won the state championship that talks about our city, our school, our city, our family. That's the sense we have here, Governor. This is the way this community feels about our school district and the role that this district, that these teachers can play in giving our children the best future that they can. To the parents that are here, you bet we're dedicated to making sure that your kids get the best education that they can. To the new teachers in the back of the room there and the existing teachers. I was a first-year teacher once myself. You have a big year ahead of you. And I know you're going to do the best for our kiddos. I know that. And you know, it happens to be that my family is here with me today. My daughter, who went to Reading School District, as well as my grandkids. And while they're not here in the Reading School District, they live in another state. We know that every child matters, that the education for these kids, no matter where they live, ought to be as good as it can possibly be. Not just good enough, but excellent. And that's what this governor is dedicated to. You know, behind your back, Governor, I call you the Energizer Bunny. You have been running around this state, making stops, telling the people of Pennsylvania, this Commonwealth, that you really do care about what's happening. And I recall when we had that budget address back in February, and you stood there and talked about your commitment to education. You followed through. You followed through, sir. Thank you. On a decision by the Commonwealth Court. So for you kids out here that maybe don't understand that, the judges in our state said to us as the legislature, you guys haven't been doing your job. You have not been making sure that there is good funding for all of our kids in terms of their education. And that was a long-awaited decision. And now we are beginning to make good on what the court has told us that we need to do.
And that's where the governor's mindset has been too. You heard Dr. Murray, our great superintendent, talk about the investments that we're going to make in basic education, what we're going to do for special education. That school breakfast issue, that is incredibly important. One of the first things this governor said was that we need to do that. I also serve as a tutor at the Glenside School, and I know when we get to the end of the day, those kiddos are hungry. They can't read, you can't get them to focus on a book until you get that milk and you get those cookies out. It's absolutely what has to happen. So I do understand, I know that. And I know this is getting long in a lot of speeches too. But I do want to tell you that I'm excited to have our governor here today. I'm excited to be a part of the legislature that's going to begin the process of fully funding our schools, no matter where kids live. And this district is one, quite frankly, that needs some of the most help in the entire state. We're going to do the job. It's not new, but the commitment is new. We've got a new governor, we've got a new team, and by the way, we have a Secretary of Education. You might remember who this guy is. You might have seen him around the town once in a while. I am proud to introduce our Secretary of Education, Dr. Khalid Mounin.
Well, thank you so much, and it feels so good to be back home. And instead of saying good afternoon, we have a lot of new teachers here, right, Dr. Murray?
Yes.
So let's see if they know what this t-shirt really means.
Yes.
So when I say, once a red night,
Always a red night.
they ain't got it yet. Once a red night,
Always a red night.
thank you. And that means such a big, big deal here in the city of Reading. And because you have to move with extreme head and heart alignment to do this work. As stated earlier, I am a former superintendent here in the Reading School District, and many of the things and the investments that we will talk about today, they were just ideals back when I was a superintendent here. And Governor Shapiro has taken the baton and he's moving forward, fast and furious. I'm so excited to be a part of this team. I'm also excited because, as our legislator said, we have a budget. Let me say it again, we have a budget. And I am so excited about the budget. And let me tell you why. You'll say, why are you so excited, Dr. Moumin? Because when I was a superintendent here, we had investments which then were historic of $350 million in the basic education fund. As I stand here today, there's an increase of $567 million in the basic education fund. $567 million. Students in underfunded schools are going to get the basic resources that they need. With an increase of $50 million in special education funding, that means that students living with different abilities are going to get an equitable education that breaks down barriers. That's extremely important for us. And as was stated a lot earlier, let's put some numbers on this. And with $46 million, a $46 million investment, students who come to school with an empty stomach, they're going to get a free breakfast, no matter their family's income. Across Pennsylvania, this will benefit 1.7 million children. Here in Berks County, it's going to help 68,000 students. Because of this investment, countless children are going to start their days on full bellies and ready minds. Representative Guzman made a great point. And Governor Shapiro, I believe, has been extremely strategic. He's put in place people who can tell the story because they've lived the story. I was one of those kids. But I was one of those kids where I had to have the purple or the orange or the yellow ticket to go through the line because I was free and reduced. This universal breakfast investment eliminates all perceptual issues and stigmas. All students will eat for free. This is just a premonition, a big step forward to provide every child an opportunity to succeed and the freedom to chart their own course. Our team at PDE, we're working around the clock to get this funding out to schools as quickly as possible. We are excited to partner with the Reading School District and the 500 school districts throughout the Commonwealth. This is the opportunity to make history. This budget is a historic investment. Now, I have the pleasure to introduce you to a very special person, a dynamic leader, the person that had the leadership capacity to stand before 250 Democrats and Republicans back in March and led this charge for universal free breakfast. The person who made this budget possible, where it's not just a red herring or ideal that we continue looking for this North Star. Governor Shapiro made the demands that this will become a reality for all children in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Please help me in welcoming Governor Josh Shapiro.
Thank you, everybody. It's good to be back in Dr. Mameen's old stomping grounds. I'm going to mix and mingle with all of you after to get all the scoop on him so I can take that back to our state capitol. But Dr. Mameen, thank you for welcoming us back here. It is indeed a joyous day here in Reading. I've got a lot to say about how happy I am to be here, but I do bring some sad news this morning, and I wanted to just convey on behalf of my wife Lori, our First Lady, just our profound sadness upon learning of the passing of Ellen Casey, the former First Lady of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Governor Casey's wife. And Lori and I join all Pennsylvanians in mourning for their loss, in making sure that everyone knows that Ellen Casey was a dynamic leader, someone who contributed mightily to the welfare of our children and so much more during her time in public life. And I just want to say, may her memory be a blessing unto all. It is indeed my pleasure to be here with all of you today and to be received by so many of your wonderful leaders in this district, Dr. Murray and others, to have the opportunity to see all of the parents out there. And Lori and I are blessed to be parents of 4 children, 2 who are still school age. And I see the pride on your faces and the excitement for your little ones who are about to go off into kindergarten and the early years of school. And I know with that excitement there comes a nervousness as well, a wondering whether or not the folks who are supposed to be in charge of things are going to be there for you, are going to be able to get it done for your children, are going to make sure your children have a wonderful and safe and healthy environment to be in. And I must tell you, here at the home of the Red Knights, they've got a wonderful, safe, and healthy environment to be in. They have wonderful leaders in the school district, from your superintendent to your principal to the members of your school board who are here. They care deeply about your children and their future. I also want you to know that this administration cares deeply about your children as well. And that is why we have worked so hard to make sure we could deliver for each and every one of your kids in this school district and the other 499 across this Commonwealth. While I am very grateful for the kind words that have been extended to me, to Dr. Mameen, and to our entire administration, I want you to know that I'm profoundly grateful to the senator and the representatives who are up here with me today. You see, I can only sign a budget that reaches my desk. And this budget that reached my desk is the product of bipartisan compromise. Moms and dads, you need to know that the reason your children will be able to be in this school district and have breakfast when they show up in the morning is because Republicans and Democrats came together around a common sense budget and got it done. I'm the only governor in the nation that gets to work with a full-time divided legislature. That means that y'all are chuckling there. I know, I enjoy it, but here's the thing. It means that for something to pass, it requires the support of both parties. And in this moment of hyper-partisanship and polarization in the nation, we should all feel good about how here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, folks of both parties decided to come together around your children and around their future, and making sure that we not only passed a budget that included more resources for our public schools than at any time before in the history of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, but that we also saw to it to make strategic investments in the welfare of your children, to make sure that when they come to schools, that there are mental health professionals who are there to help them, to make sure that when they come to school, that they're able to learn because they've got a full belly, because for the first time ever, we have universal free breakfast here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for all 1.7 million school children. This was a common sense effort because we understand that if you're going to have good outcomes in this Commonwealth, it starts with these folks right here. Especially, where's Stephen? You're the magician and the astronaut and the scientist, you told me in the other room, right? You're doing all three. Reese, not Stephen, excuse me. Reese. There you go, Reese. Reese wants to be a scientist, a magician, an astronaut, right? And maybe a police officer, a firefighter, or most importantly, how about maybe being a teacher one day, right? That'd be really cool. But when I look in the eyes of these young people, I see our future. And I see this as the wisest of the investments that we can make in a Commonwealth that cares deeply about all God's children. And that is why we are here today in Reading. Yes, to celebrate the passage of a budget. Yes, to celebrate the bipartisanship that led us to be able to make these investments. But most importantly, we are all here today, moms and dads, elected officials, administrators, and of course teachers, because we love these children and we see our future through them. Manny Guzman said it best. I hope they grow up to be the next state representative, to be the next superintendent, to be the next police officer, firefighter, teacher, nurse. And they have the future if we continue to believe in them and invest in them. And that's exactly what we're trying to do in your state capital. We got a lot more work to do and a lot more challenges that abound. You heard the senator speak about that court case. Made clear that we got to invest more in our schools and we need to make sure that the funding is driven out in an equitable manner, that it goes to where the need is most. We also have a brewing crisis in this Commonwealth where, despite all of the wonderful first-year teachers in your red knight t-shirts here today, we don't have enough teachers to teach the next generation in this Commonwealth. This budget makes an investment in student teachers, providing them with a stipend to teach while they learn for the first time ever before. We know we have more work to do to make sure that our teachers get the support that they need. You know, when you invest more in a school, the way we're doing by increasing the basic education funding to the highest level ever, that means more resources for our children. It means more opportunities for them. It also means more resources available to hire more teachers and pay them a higher salary. And that's going to be important as we do this work going forward. I want you to know that while we made great progress in just my first 7 months in office, we know we've got a lot more work to do. And when we think about that work, we think about our children. We think about their future. And we think about investing in their safety, in their welfare, and in their well-being. I believe the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is a place where every single child should have the freedom to chart their own course and the opportunity to succeed. I believe this should be a welcoming place to all children. I believe this should be a place where you can speak the language that you love, and you should learn in that language, and you should be in a place where you should be celebrated for your rich history, and that all of that together should go into making our communities even stronger, even safer, an even better place to live. It's my honor to be with all of you here today, to see the smiling faces of our next generation of leaders, to applaud the work that these fine administrators are doing and these teachers are doing, to thank the next generation of teachers for your willingness to pick up this mantle of leadership in your own right and to carry it forward to fight for the next generation. And I'm especially proud to be here with these elected officials who, like me, believe that investing in our children is the right thing to do and something that is going to continue to happen on my watch in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So thank you for having me here today. And what I'd love to do is invite some of these kids to come over to that seemingly pretty small table over there so I can ceremoniously sign this bill and we can get breakfast delivered to 1.8 million children all across Pennsylvania. Thank you all very much. Come on over, gang. Yeah. All right, y'all ready to do this? Come on. Oh my goodness.
Come on over.
Where'd my buddy Reese go? Come on around, guys. Are you excited? This is so cool. Are we good to go, Ms. Murray? Dr. Murray? All right. So I got my breakfast tray here, and on this breakfast tray is our bill. And when I sign it, it's going to be law. And you know what that's going to do? You can come to school in the morning, you can get your breakfast, right? Your milk, your grapes, your fruit, maybe a waffle, whatever they're going to give you here. It's going to be delicious. So I'm going to sign that, and it's going to become law. What do you think? Does that sound good? Good? All right, here we go. This is it. All right, there we go. Woo! And I'm gonna give this pen that I just signed that with to Marcia, because she does amazing work. And students, I want you to know that every piece of paper she signs now with this pen will become law in Pennsylvania. So that's now the law. It says you can have breakfast in the morning. Pass that to your friends. There you go. And I got a little special something for you guys here. It's a pencil that if you sharpen and you sign a piece of paper, that also becomes law. There you go. There you go, my man. What's that? I know, you gotta sharpen it up. We just don't want you to get hurt. And we'll make sure we get one for every student here, okay? Are you guys excited for school? Yeah. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Well, thank you for letting me come here today. I appreciate it. Okay. You guys want to answer some questions?
Oh, I have it hooked up to the system.
And it's taking questions, so
Is he going to be using or are we
I don't know. I just thought we should get this ready because I think it's going to be this.
You might be asking questions with the actual things that's
Yeah. Okay.
If not, I'll switch it over.